You might have heard the story about Krzyżowa, Poland, to be precise. Well, it wasn't just any day. It was the 12th of April 2015. And as the tale tells, Krzyżowa managed a legend, a real life legend. And you yourself might ask, what is that legend? Well, we're here to tell you! And Krzyżowa, the place to be, at night time, was still and calm, yet alive. And the graveyard in the daytime was, of course, a most beautiful place. The sun shines down, the light shines around. But in Krzyżowa, darkness descends. That night, our fair maiden Juliet, she came from the palace, waiting for a winter-time, night-time walk. She wanted to find her Romeo, her most perfect Romeo. And so, she left from the palace, gracious and elegant. Down the steps, she glided, as beautiful as ever, into Krzyżowa, the beauty that it held at night time. Free, alive, and ready for passion, love, and most of all, for life, the beauty that she was. Juliet became alive. Krzyżowa was home, not only to Juliet, but Krzyżowa was home to many different kind of creatures, let's say. Some were polite and friendly, and generally as genuine as they could be, and others not so much. They waited outside the doors of people at night time. They waited until they came from their homes. And that's when everything changed in Krzyżowa. The race began to grow. The vampires and demons and everything nasty, they came out to play a small game that you might want to call Krzyżowa Darkness. And that night, Juliet left from the palace, the princess that she was, walking until she got to the gates. And as soon as she could, she started to run. Faster and faster and faster and faster into the darkness she went. As she fled the kingdom, she fled faster and faster into the darkness until all we could see was the one light from the castle at the top of the hill. Krzyżowa was a place indeed, a place of something. When Juliet ran from her castle, from the palace, she ran into the darkness, as you remember, and she went up to the light at the top of the hill. What happened when she got to the top of the hill? Here's what happened. Here is what happened. Juliet managed to get into the castle. She faced a lot of challenges that night. And then she felt the warmth, disorientated but alive. She fell. She landed on the stairs, took off her jacket, and there she was, trying to relieve herself of all of the challenges that happened that night. Until suddenly, what happens? Juliet, on the stairs, wasn't paying any attention. And on the other side of the castle, the demons were preparing themselves for something a little bit different. The gloves were put on. All of the things they needed were prepared. And Juliet's fate was in the hands of the demons of Krzyżowa. And Juliet arrived into the castle. She sat and she started to drift away. She became more and more relaxed, more and more relaxed, and she started to drift off to sleep. Slowly but surely, the princess was finally safe from all of the demons, from the darkness, from the forest, until that night, not only did poor old Juliet die, not only was Juliet's life ended, but the whole of Krzyżowa too had disappeared. Death was among us, the demons were around us, and Krzyżowa failed to exist anymore. Is the legend of Krzyżowa. You may be here right now and wondering, what's going to happen for the rest of the world? In the end, I guess somebody survived. The demon survived. And so he started to procreate. Next time you go to Krzyżowa, you might see the defects, what happened to people. You'll hear the stories, and they'll tell you that this is not the end. Actually turned into a legend. That, my friends, is how